Okay, so our next generator, we're going to take a look at VertexToParticle. VertexToParticle, we're actually going to delete that source object and we'll create a new one. We're going to create two of them actually. We'll create that object and another object. The second sphere, we're going to go ahead and animate and have him go past that and then over here. Finally, he'll go there and then jump out of there. Okay. So what we'll do here is we're going to take VertexToParticle, and this is going to take a scene object, piece of geometry. We'll pick that piece right there, and it creates a vertex at every, it creates a particle at every vertex of the object. Go ahead and select that sphere. We can assign which group to place it in. We'll assign to the red particles. And this switch right here, track particle to vertex, what that will do is it will take the particle, tracks the particle's motion, and it's going to force that mesh vertex to follow the particle. We'll take a look at that in just a second. First, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and define another rule. And in the second rule, we want to say, basically what we want is this node to collide with the particles. The way we're going to set that up is we're going to say, okay, that node and those red particles, I want there to be a dynamic situation. I want a U deflector, which is basically the same as max U deflector. It's got some more options to it, and it's built into TP. And we'll connect that node because that's the node we want to use. We're going to pick the node is that guy. The particles that it's going to affect are going to be the red particles. And balance is 1, and we'll just leave these the rest as they are. And let's go ahead then and we'll scrub in time, and we can see that those particles get taken away by that other node. And moved around like that. Now you can see that they have no inertia. That's kind of the first thing. It's just that that one object, the sphere, is pushing them around. If we want to go ahead and have these particles kind of behave as though they were connected together, kind of like a cloth, we can activate the edges as joints. And this will set all the object edges between each particle to act as a spring joint. This volume samples is very important. We're going to go ahead and set it to 10 right now, just to kind of keep an accurate shape of the object. And now what we see, actually let's do this. Let's turn off real time so that it will evaluate every frame. And we'll just go ahead and hit play. And you can see that it kind of whacks the particles, and they kind of spin around in unison. And it whacks them again, and you can see they kind of fly out in space and twist around. But what's not happening is this source object here is not being affected at all. In order to actually affect that source mesh, what we're going to do is we're going to say track vertex to particle, or track particle to vertex. So the particle is going to be tracked, and it's going to affect the vertex. So now when we do this, let's actually turn on shaded mode. What's going to happen is this object mesh is being bound to each particle and is being distorted because there's a U deflector collision with this other sphere. As we scrub forward, we can watch as this whole mesh kind of gets hit with the shock wave of being knocked around. Gets pulled away through here again. And you can see it kind of warble and change shape like that. You can affect that using the spring constant and spring dampening, or damping. Watch out when you do this. You want to keep the values pretty low. Experiment with low values is good. We'll try a damping of 1.5. So this kind of allows us to say and treat an object in the scene, a piece of mesh geometry, born a bunch of particles on it, and then whatever we do to those particles will actually affect that max mesh. It's pretty useful in some unique situations. It's a great tool. Okay, let's go ahead and remove that, and we'll remove that other dynamic set. And we're going to go ahead and reset max before we begin our next and very powerful generator, matter waves.